Welcome back to the Purple Pod, the best K-State podcast out there. I'm Stevie B.
I'm Kenny G.
And welcome back. We're going to be talking about K-State versus KU this week. This is KU Hate Week, so plan accordingly. It's a huge week in the Sunflower Showdown series. We're going to be talking about all of that. We're also going to be talking about here at the beginning, K-State versus Baylor. The Cats got a monster win over the weekend. Kenny and I got to hang out at the game. It was a lot of fun. Before we get into that, though, make sure you guys like, subscribe, tell your friends, share it. We're almost at 100 subscribers. We would love it if you guys subscribed and liked this video. Kenny G, you were at Fort Riley Day, Veterans Day, K-State 59, Baylor 25. I want to get your reaction to that game.
Oh man, it was a sweet game. I was actually able to bring my dad and his friend and my mom, and my wife was there. My daughter was there. It was a really good time. It was just a big family get together. And yeah, we had really good seats. We were sitting behind the end zone on I want to say the east side. It's hard to remember
It was on the south side is where you guys were sitting.
The south side. There you go. That's close enough. But I mean, it was a really cool sort of event. They had Apaches flying over the stadium. They had the American flag cover the entire field.
That was cool.
It was really, really nice. Meant a lot to my dad that they were doing lots of like veteran stuff. Like I said, he I think I said this in the last episode, but yeah, he is a veteran. He served for like 23 years, and he had his war buddy with him, and it was just cool to have both of them there to be able to watch a cool game and then have like a lot of tribute to that. So, but yeah, it was nice. The weather started out kind of weird. It was like some rain, like light drizzle, I would say, but then it like cleared up really quick, and it was actually turned out to be a really nice day. There were parts that were like sunny and really bright and everything. It was super cool. But yeah, man, I was really excited for the game. Going into it, you and I both had predicted that this was going to be a huge blowout game, and man, did it deliver.
It absolutely
wow.
did.
I mean, we absolutely rolled over them, and I'm sure we're going to get into it, but I mean, the hot takes from Stevie B were really coming in clutch this game, man. It had to happen. It had to happen eventually, man. It had. Well, I mean, you had been calling it almost every week for like the last like 4 weeks now.
I had a good weekend, man. I really did. I went to the K-State basketball game on Friday. We hung out there. K-State football game on Saturday. We hung out there. A couple K-State wins. So my weekend was already set. Got the hot takes correct. Got some AJ's Pizza. You and I went golfing on Sunday morning. We had a lot of fun. I got a pretty sweet par on, I think, hole number 4 over at Wildcat. You and I feel like we were a pretty good team when we were golfing on Sunday. It was my birthday on Sunday as well. We hung up some Christmas. My daughter is massive into Christmas right now. Like, she loves Christmas a lot. My parents came over. We had some Mexican food. It was just a all-around great weekend for me. And let's go ahead and get into this K-State versus Baylor post-game review here. K-State won 59-25. Shout out to Baylor for scoring of 20 seconds left to make it so K-State only wins by 5 touchdowns instead of 6.
The garbage time touchdowns crack me up, man.
I mean, that's the second time this year. Third time another team has tried to do that. We got to talk first. We obviously have to talk first about the man of the hour, Will Howard, and we'll get into our players of the game here very soon. Will Howard, 235 passing yards, but the big thing is 3 passing touchdowns. He is now the all-time leader in passing touchdowns in a career at Kansas State University with 45. He threw a touchdown to Christian Moore, which he got his first touchdown ever as a Wildcat, which is pretty cool. The fullback got one. What's interesting is not a single wide receiver caught a touchdown. We had couple tight ends, and a fullback, and one at the running back position. So that was pretty cool. K-State dominated 59-25, 38 points in offense, 3 touchdowns coming on defense. Basically, well, I guess there was another one on offense, but basically 3 coming on defense. We had a sack, forced fumble, touchdown, scoop and score. Cody Stufflebean hit the quarterback. Desmond Purnell picked it up, ran it back for a TD. Our guy, let me pull it up here because he had a great game. Keenan Garber had an interception return for a touchdown, and he was flying. I think they said he had like a top 10 speed of the year on that return in terms of overall speed. That was pretty cool to see. And then obviously there was that punt miscommunication on Baylor where they dropped the ball. We tackled them at the 2-yard line, scored on the next play. So basically 3 touchdowns on defense or special teams, which you love to see. I've been calling for it all year long, man. This was a dominating performance from start to finish.
Yeah, dude, it was so cool. I mean, Keenan Garber, bro, he's a Kansas boy, if I'm not mistaken.
From Lawrence, Kansas.
Good old Lawrence, man. This is gonna be a big game for him coming up this week. But
it is, dude.
Yeah, Keenan Garber, actually, for people who don't know, I believe he started out as a wide receiver.
He did.
And for whatever reason, it just wasn't working out. They moved him over to the defense, and he has really like stepped up on that end. I mean, it's been, I just keep saying, like, dude, he's really like blowing me away right now with how good he is on defense. It's like, it's amazing what he's doing. And you saw right there, got an interception, pick 6. Finally,
Absolutely.
Finally getting something that, I had tried calling it in the early part of the season, but it wasn't going to happen. I just kind of gave up on it. I said, I'm just like, I don't think it's going to happen. It's just not meant to be. But no, man, we actually went out, and man, it really felt like, well, I'll tell you this. When we went out, they deferred to us, and I said, well, I told my whole family, I'm like, watch, we're going to score on the first possession. And we did. And there was a couple moments I was like, oh man, we're third and, pretty decent, like 3rd and 8. There was a couple times I was like, I don't know if we're going to get this. And we got it, thankfully. But yeah, we went down, scored on the first drive, and it was DJ Giddens that pulled it off, and that like it was a little outside pass, I believe. And then he just walked it right in, basically.
Walked right in right in front of us, actually.
Yeah, defense didn't have a chance. And then, to everyone's surprise, Baylor comes down and scores on their opening drive. And I'm like,
almost kind of like easily, honestly.
I know. It was like 4. How many plays was that? It was like
6. It was like 6 plays.
Yeah. I was like, I looked around. I was like, what?
That ain't good.
I'm like, that is weird. Like, it didn't look like, it just was really uncharacteristic of our defense, the way that we've been playing defensively. I'm like, how are they able to do this? It's kind of strange.
Yep.
And then we get the ball back. I believe we go
right back down to score.
We go back down to score.
Yep.
And then they get the ball, and I think that's when we do that huge tackle.
Yep.
Where we sack the quarterback. The ball goes flying. Des Purnell comes up, does the scoop, and walks it in. I mean, they were only like he got sacked at like the 15-yard line. It was like right in front of me.
Literally right in front of both of us. Yeah. Like it was like, deep in their own territory for sure.
I was like, what is happening?
It's like 10 minutes into the game. K-State's up 21-7. They're like, all right, I'm feeling pretty good right about now.
After that point, it was like, it was over.
It was
absolutely over. They just could not figure out a way to really get back.
And shout out to them. Like, they never gave up. Like, they tried hard. Like, I don't know how many trick plays they ran, but it felt like a ton. And like, if we're looking at like the team stats here, I'm sorry to cut you off there, Kenny. They went for it 8 times on 4th down. 8 times on 4th down. And they got it 4 times. And they were 4 of 17 on 3rd down. Like, our 3rd down and 4th down defense has been pretty stellar all year long, man. It really has.
I don't really blame them, because like, when you're down that much, you have to kind of go for it every time.
Absolutely.
You're also like, you're playing away, like, you got to do it. And so I don't really blame them for that, but and kudos to them. They were able to be successful some of the time on that, especially against our defense. But dude, it felt like this game was signed, sealed, and delivered right from the first quarter.
Absolutely. And K-State was up 35-7, had a chance to actually go up 42-7. And Baylor, they came out and scored, and I don't know why they started going for two really early. It was weird, super weird. And at one point, I think it was like 35-19 or something like that, or 38-19, and K-State just kind of cruised from there.
I think the biggest thing to point out is that we finally made it over that 50-point hump. You know what I mean?
We did. We finally got over 50 points, and
and
we almost scored 60. Honestly,
we could have, easily. We didn't have our starters in for the longest, and
no, we did not.
You know what's crazy is, what was the last time? When was the last time we scored 59 points?
59 it was exactly. I have no idea, but it's been a couple years since we scored.
It was against 50. KU.
Oh,
I saw the post.
The last time we scored 50 plus was against KU. Yeah, back in like 2019, 2020, something like that.
It was something like, I had seen the stat. Yeah. I'm like, this is so awesome. There was also another picture I'd seen where the KU versus K-State tweets or the memes are just so great. There's there was like a 64-0 scoreboard.
Yes, I remember that one. Yes, back in the rain, I was at KU. Yeah. Before we get into our thoughts on K-State versus KU, we got to finish talking about this game. So I had predicted 58-10. You predicted 54-9, 0 touchdowns by Baylor. They ended up getting 4.
Yeah. When they came down and scored the first touchdown, I was like, well, there goes my entire my prediction there. It's like right off the jump, I was done. So I think your score prediction was way better, obviously.
Yeah, I was really close at 59, and I was a little closer on obviously to 25. Doing the whole Price is Right on me did not work in your favor.
I mean, hey, Baylor
I ended up being under on both of those, so I actually ended up being the one right on the Price is Right there. So.
Exactly, yeah. I had a little bit more faith on our defense side of things, but to be fair, I mean, when they came out and scored the first touch, and I was like, wow, I did not expect that. So,
right,
I guess I doubted them a little bit too much, but at the end of the day, it was still a blowout. We both predicted over 50. I'm glad that they finally did. They almost got 60. It's just really cool to see that happen. So yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you definitely got the crown. I mean, hey, this is your birthday weekend. I had to give it to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Kenny.
This is it all worked for Steve in the end. The birthday score picks, the score prediction, the hot takes.
So the hot takes, I predicted 650 yards of total offense, 250 passing, 400 rushing. That didn't happen, but I did predict K-State would Will Howard would break the passing record, and he did. And K-State would score a non-offensive touchdown. I've been calling it every single week, so it's not a huge deal. Did it twice actually in this game, and we shot up from being 112 in turnover margin after the first 3 or 4 games. We're now the top 25, which is awesome to see. I think you said DJ Giddens was going to have a big game or something.
Yeah, I said he was going to have 4 touchdowns. He only had 1. But I mean,
more than a touchdown.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it was one of the DJ was playing well, but he wasn't playing out of his mind.
Right. Still had 100 yards, I think. He still had 100 yards.
Yeah, I was expecting
18 carries, 115 yards.
That's not bad. I figured he obviously shared the load. Sure. But this was really more about the passing game and the defensive turnovers. That's really what it came down to.
We are back, brother. What's up, Jay Nixon? How's it going, man?
Nixon, dude, this guy again with the. He's gonna be coming in hot with these takes, man. I
feel like sometime we need to get him on the show, man. We
do.
We need to get him on the show. Hit us up on Facebook. We'll get you in here sometime.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a lot of fun. for sure.
Should we go over our players of the game?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious though.
So I actually changed up the defensive player of the game because the other person we're going to go with has already been a defensive player of the game, and this guy has never been a defensive player of the game, and he had a pretty big game.
All right, I'll let you go first then.
Well, I'm just going to pull them up both because I wasn't able to figure out. I couldn't find a single photo of him to put it into other graphics, so I'm putting offense and defense in the same graphic. So here we go.
All right, let's see it. Let's see the players.
All right, dog of the game. The defensive player of the game is Cody Stufflebean. He had 2 sacks in the game. And one of them was the one where he made the quarterback fumble. Desmond Purnell picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown. You and I had talked about, we felt like Purnell should have been player of the game. But when you get 2 sacks in one game as a defensive lineman, who's not even like really even a starter, you have to get player of the game. Have to get player of the game.
Yeah.
And then obviously the cat of the game, the offensive player of the game, without a doubt, Will Howard, breaking the K-State career passing touchdowns record. And he's only 4 away from breaking the single season record, which is crazy to think about considering he hardly played in that Texas Tech game. So he's had himself a hell of a K-State career. He's battled a ton of adversity. Couldn't be happier for him. Cody Stufflebean and Will Howard are the players of the game. Kenny, got anything to say on those two?
I mean, honestly, I would have maybe honorable mention, obviously, Des Purnell, honorable mention, Keenan Garber. But, I mean, there's no question when it comes to the cat of the game, it has got to go to Will Howard. The adversity that I feel like the majority of the adversity that's been coming for him is from the freaking fans, dude. It's like, can we like as fans, can we now just calm it down? Like, Will Howard is actually an insanely good, talented player. And you and I, when we were on our way golfing, I was kind of mentioning, like Ben Sennett, he's only a junior. And because we were talking about the Senior Bowl, how Ben Sennett and Cooper Beebe were like the ones that were going, but Ben Sennett is actually a junior. And you were like, oh, well, I mean, I still don't think he's going to stick around for another year. And I said, well, I think that if Will decided to do a super senior year, then Ben Sennett would actually stick around possibly for that. Otherwise, I don't think Ben Sennett would stick around. I think he's a NFL player ready to roll. And I saw a comment. On the on that video that we had posted, because you had filmed me saying like, here's a thought process I have. If we ever wanted Ben to stick around, maybe that might happen if Will Howard stuck around. And then there was a comment that said, yeah, that's a good way to get Avery to transfer to another school. And it's like, yo, seriously, bro? Like, I'm pretty sure Avery would be totally fine with that. But I don't know, man. It was just an idea that I had. But yeah, I think Ben Sennett deserves a lot of credit. He was catching some huge balls there. So I would honorable mention him, but it has to go to Will. I mean, breaking the record, he made some huge throws. His running game wasn't actually insane, but it was all about more, the passing game for him, and it showed with his touchdown breaking record breaking touchdown pass thing or whatever. So I'm just pumped for him. I think the haters are starting to get really quiet on him, and as they should, because man, he has just been so solid for so long. So
he is the man, no doubt about it. But speaking of haters, we're going to talk about our troll of the week.
Troll of the week.
You and I were talking about this on Sunday when we went golfing, and it was actually your idea. And so I'm just kind of playing off you. I got to pull up the picture because I guess it's
surgical indeed.
Here we go. The troll of the week. Pulling it up right now. Oh my goodness.
It's not going to be a surprise to anybody. But oh my God, look at that hideous person. Look at that hideous person.
Troll of the week. Sean Snyder. You guys don't know who that is. That is Bill Snyder's son. Bill Snyder, the person who rebuilt Kansas State football, his son, who is in the K-State Ring of Honor. He's a troll of the week, man. He's a coach at our rival school, KU. Now, I understand he's just looking for a job. He's trying to make it into business. It's no longer at K-State, but man, there's 130 FBS schools he could have been at, 128 other than K-State and KU, and he ended up at KU. Like, I don't get it. Maybe he's just trying to be close to his dad because Lawrence isn't that far. He's not coaching at K-State. I don't know, man. It feels like a slap in the face to K-State fans, K-State in general. You just can't go to your rival school, man. Like that gets you.
Nebraska is not that much farther. I mean, you could have gone to Nebraska. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. It just seems so whack. He could have gone to Nebraska. He could have gone to, I don't know, man.
Sorry, never leave your ESPN tab open. An ad will eventually play. I don't understand why he's at KU at all. That is why he's a troll of the week, man. Like, I don't like it.
There's some other reasons. It's not just him simply. There's other reasons that we can't really discuss, but it's
right.
There are some other reasons as to why he's the troll. Just things that he said that like he has talked so bad about K-State, like behind closed doors with other people. We're not going to get super into it, but I don't know how you can be that way. Talk like the way that you communicate and talk bad about your dad's school, who he's basically made it. I mean, the stadium is literally called the Bill. Like
Bill Snyder Family Stadium, and he's a Snyder family person. Don't get it, man. Don't get it.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to be like that, man. It just doesn't. I mean, I don't know if he's just trying to do that to show that he's really bought into the KU thing or whatever, that he's really not like involved with K-State. But I don't know, man.
Could have been anywhere other than KU, man. Just anywhere other than there. Troll of the week, Sean Snyder. All right.
Yeah. What a disgusting human being.
Judas.
Yeah.
That is a great comparison.
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
A great comparison. I love it. Really quickly before we get into our K-State versus KU thoughts and all of that, the college football playoff rankings just came out.
Oh, snap.
K-State is the third highest ranked Big 12 team. They are ranked 21. Oklahoma State 23, KU 25. This is going to be the first time since 1995 both K-State and KU are ranked when they play each other, which is kind of crazy to think about. The last time that happened, K-State won 41-7. Now that game was in Manhattan. This game is in Lawrence. Big difference, but just goes to show you K-State's been really good for almost 30 years now, and KU has not been, because obviously K-State's been ranked a ton of times, and KU just hasn't been whenever they played each other. So this is going to be a fun weekend. Now, before we get into that game, though, something else just came out today. So the Big 12 tiebreakers, everyone felt like was kind of like, okay, since K-State didn't play OU, and Oklahoma State didn't play Texas, it's kind of like, okay, well, they're going to go off of who everyone played and then go off of that record. Well, today, just in like the last 2 hours, Brett McMurphy tweeted out that apparently the Big 12 commissioners board are meeting tomorrow. So all the Big 12 presidents are going to meet tomorrow to discuss the Big 12 championship game requirements, or who would be second basically to go to the game. And basically he's reporting that since Oklahoma State beat both OU and K-State, if the season ended right now, they would be the ones to go to Arlington, which would be essentially rewriting the rules as they're written just a year ago. So that is insanely frustrating as a K-State fan. You can't change the rules 2 weeks to go in the season. That is ridiculous. Kenny, I feel like this is the first time you're hearing this. I want to hear your thoughts on the Big 12 possibly changing the rules for who gets to go to the Big 12 championship game.
I just can't see how Oklahoma State fans, I feel like this is because they're making a huge ruckus about it, because the rules before this happened was that if it was a 3-way tie between OU, K-State, and OSU, that K-State would automatically be the one going to Arlington against Texas, based on common opponent. Listen, our common opponent against OSU is KU and UCF.
It'd be that, and then also Iowa State, who we still have to play in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and if we beat Iowa State, KU, and UCF, and they lost to Iowa State and UCF, then just win. At the end of the day, all we can really do is just win, beat the teams that we need to beat, and just hope that it works in our favor. But the idea that you would change the rules because it looks crazy the way it is right now, nah, I don't think that's right. I think that's messed up. Honestly,
you can't change the rules just because it looks bad. Just change them in the off season.
Exactly. Change them in the off season. We all went in, with this. The thing is that it used to be that there was only 12 schools and you just did a round robin and it was all taking care of itself.
Sure.
And now that it's not like that, we can't really operate in that way. So they did it to themselves, and
Absolutely.
they came up with this idea, and they have to live with this idea. They can't just change the rules out of nowhere just because it looks funky and it's crazy. And yeah, they might have dropped the ball on the way that this works, but it is what it is, I just it's frustrating a little bit as a K-State fan, because I understand OSU fans, you beat OU and you beat K-State, but
you just lost 45-3. 45-3.
Yeah, K-State has never lost by that margin this year, not even close.
No.
We have the biggest point margin that we've lost by is by OSU, and it was like a touchdown.
It was a touchdown.
Yeah,
and we've also played. So the new rankings came out. Texas is obviously still in the top 10. Missouri has now jumped into the top 10, and then Oklahoma State and KU. So
if Missouri would have beat Georgia, they would be arguably in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would be arguably in the college football playoff.
K-State's played the hardest,
and we lost to them by 3 points with a record-breaking field goal.
Right, and K-State lost to another top 10 team in overtime by a field goal. And the other games we have at OSU are decided by a touchdown. And then this weekend we have KU. All 4 games we have against ranked opponents are on the road, which is insanely frustrating. You change up any of those road games, Texas, Missouri, which doesn't matter in terms of.
Well, the Texas game, I think, is
so.
The Texas game was so counterfeit because we talked about it before. I hate bringing it up again, but if 14 of if there was 14 things that went wrong, if any of those went the other way, then we would have won.
Yeah, for real. Just change one thing and K-State is headed to Arlington. If any of those games are at home, if K-State's playing Oklahoma State at home, K-State throttles them. Absolutely throttles them.
Yeah, there's no way.
So that's insanely frustrating. We'll find out tomorrow if they actually end up changing the rules or not, but it's been reported by Brett McMurphy that they are, and it's going to piss me off, man. It really is going to piss me off if they do that. All right, let's go ahead and get into. We're 30 minutes in.
Finally, we have to move fast.
We have to move on. K-State versus KU for I think the 121st time. I'd have to look it up exactly. It's a big game this weekend, Kenny. I want to get your initial thoughts on the Sunflower Showdown this weekend. First time since 1995 that both teams are ranked in the top 25.
My initial thoughts.
Your initial thoughts, brother.
Beat KU, baby. That's all I got to say.
I went
out. I had some Jayhawk earlier. I threw up. It was the most disgusting bird ever. Don't recommend it. Dude, KU is trash. They belong in a trash can. This whole season from them is a joke. It's all what do they call it? A hoax. It's what do they call that? what do they call that? It's like the word is escaping me, but
they've been lucky, that's for sure.
Lucky, yeah, but it's like whenever like you win something and then you come back and you lose, what do they call that? Like a fraud or
karma? Yeah, fraud.
Yeah, it was fraud. This whole season of them has been fraudulent. I don't buy it. I don't think they're that good. It just I just can't wait to see the scoreboard and it'd be K-State is going to be coming out firing.
Yep, absolutely.
There's no news on.
Oh, there we go. That's it. There's the word fluke.
Fluke. There it is. I'm like fraud. Fluke. Yes, their season right now is a fluke.
He's on top of it. Jay Nixon's
There's 6. Yeah, thanks, Jay. This is why you need to be on the show.
Absolutely.
This is why you need to be on the show. Yeah, dude, their season is completely a fluke. That they have made this many wins. I don't think that they're that good. What's amazing is it's like the opposite. I believe K-State is better than their record. I think KU is worse than their record. So it's like the opposite effect. And honestly, K-State's going to want to win this big time. I think we had a practice run through last Saturday, and I think this is like the game that we were kind of practicing with Baylor. Baylor was like the they were like the practice team for us.
Honestly, I didn't think K-State even played that well against Baylor, offensively at least. Now, they had over 400 yards and scored a bunch of touchdowns, but they could have played even better, man. They really could have. Yeah. Like, overall, I didn't think K-State played that great. We didn't even get 200 rushing yards. Like,
this has to be dude.
They're going to be locked in this week.
I'm expecting K-State to put up numbers that are even better than Texas versus KU.
Ooh, I like it. Now, here's what I'm going to say. My initial thoughts. I'm going to give KU a little bit more credit than you do. I do feel like they have been lucky this season, but I also feel like they've actually had a pretty good team as well. They've impressed me throughout the season. I do feel like they got lucky against Oklahoma. They've got lucky a few other times. Now, they did get unlucky on Saturday with their quarterback going down. We don't know who's going to play. Now, their head coach said that Jason Bean will most likely play. I'm not sure I'm buying that. And even if he does, I feel like he's at risk for injury again. Because if their backup quarterback plays or third-string quarterback plays, Ballard, I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I really do. It doesn't look like Jalen Daniels is going to play again this season. So that he looks like he's definitely done. So we'll see who plays at quarterback for KU. I feel like K-State's going to win regardless of whoever's at quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I kind of wanted to go to this game. At the same time, I have no problem not seeing a bunch of KU fans all around me. That was annoying as hell last year when they came to our stadium and there was one sitting right in front of me. Did not like that. Did not like it at all. Let's get into the stats breakdown here.
While you do that, I want to just point out when they played Texas, which I believe that K-State and Texas are, I would say, pretty equal. They're equal in terms of strength. Sure. Texas had total yards 660 versus 260 against KU. Their passing yards was 325 to 136. Their rushing yards was 336 to 124. They were averaging 7 yards per play to KU's 5. And here's the first downs: 33 to 11. Third down efficiency 9 of 15 to 0 of 8.
Wow! So they got dominated.
Yeah, fourth down efficiency 2 of 2, 0 of 2.
They had a fumble that they picked up and ran in for a touchdown. That's how lucky they were, and they still got destroyed.
Total plays 86 to 46.
Woo!
The time of possession 40 minutes to 18 minutes.
Oh my God! Wow!
They just were never on the field.
No, not really. All right, let's share this stats breakdown.
So I'm expecting us to get something like that.
Okay, well, I would love it. Here is a stats breakdown for K-State versus KU this weekend. We're going to talk about the offense first. It appears K-State has the advantage across the board offensively. Top 15 in scoring offense, top 20 total offense, top 50 passing offense, top 15 in rush offense. Third down efficiency, K-State's in the top 15. Top 5 Third down defense. We'll get into defense later, I guess. Red zone offense, top 30. K-State's just, I feel like the way better team on offense compared to.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
man.
huge. The margins are huge, man.
I mean, when you got the number 14 rush offense going against the 88th rush defense, say some prayers for KU and their defensive line and linebackers, man. K-State's going to run all over them, dude.
Yeah. Also with the fact that, gosh, my screen is so bright, it's washing. It's making me really, really white over here. So scoring offense, 12th. We score at least 38 points, and KU is averaging giving their opponents 26 minimum. We're definitely getting more than that.
Absolutely.
And then the total offense, we're making around 450 yards per game. Dude, what?
Like, this is a good offense, man. This is a really good offense.
Yeah. This, like, our passing offense really didn't start kicking into gear until we had Jace Brown really in the mix. So I don't really count that because we were really mostly just running all over teams. So I think our pass offense is better than it actually is showing right here.
Absolutely.
Even then, their pass defense is not looking good. Dude, I'm telling you, this is going to be very, very similar to what Texas did against KU in terms of like offenses. Like, oh man, this is gonna be brutal. It's gonna be brutal.
I was watching KU struggle on tape against the run, against Ollie Gordon, against Oklahoma's running backs, against Texas. Like, if you got a big bruiser at running back, which we do, DJ Giddens,
baby,
they're gonna struggle, man. Like, Giddens is gonna break the first, second,
and I think our offensive line is better. I think our offensive line is better than OSU and OU. In Texas, I think we have way better offensive line than them.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that. So I just feel like K-State is just going to be able to run the ball at them. Now, KU is going to put more in the box and dare us to pass. And I don't know if you want to do that against the all-time passing touchdown leader. KU is going to take some chances. They're going to run a lot of cover 0, cover 1, put their corners on an island and have them jump routes. If K-State's got time to do a couple of double moves, there's going to be guys running wide open for touchdowns because their corners like to jump those short routes to try to get interceptions and pick sixes. I feel like K-State's really going to beat them deep in this game a couple times.
I really hope that Colin puts out some really cool plays for this game. Sure. I think this is the kind of game that you can be more creative and show something that you haven't shown before. Because I think KU really, really wants this win. I think they're going to be studying on the film really closely to what we like to do. And I think having something that is kind of off the pages is going to be our advantage here. I think doing something that we don't normally do is what's going to win us this game. Because like I said, we play this team all the time. They know what we're about. They know kind of what like what our brand of football is, but there's a reason why there's a reason why we're able to win as often as we have. And I think it's because we come at it. We come at it with, some fresh looks. We give them something new to look at. And I think this is no different. I think this year we're going to be coming up with something really, really nice. We also, we typically have just better players overall, but times are different now. We got the portal out there, teams can get some players now, but I still think that we have the advantage overall. Even like when we go to the defense here, third down offense, 11th versus 80. Oh my God, 89th, dude. Red zone.
It's going to be fun, man.
The red zone offense is only because Tennett's missed some freaking field goals, but
yeah. I mean, 2 field goals, really, honestly.
Let's not talk about it, but. When you look at the defensive advantage, like their offense versus our defense advantage, the difference is really not that much. I mean, it's barely.
It's close. It's closer.
It's closer than it is for our offense versus their defense. So
absolutely,
I'm thinking you're probably going to see somewhere in the middle of where the. I mean, if you're going to be a computer, analyzing this, it's like, okay, they're probably going to get around 120 to 130 rushing yards. They might get around like 200 and, somewhere around like 220 passing yards, so it's going to be close to like 400 yards total. Maybe it just depends though. Like when you look at what Texas did, it was 600 to 200 yards. Like that's crazy. So I think if they could do that, and we're a similar team as in terms of strength, I think it might end up being something similar to that. And now, of course, it was KU playing at Texas, so you have to think about that.
Sure.
That might obviously play a factor, but I think overall, I think that it's going to look good for K-State.
I mean, we don't have a stats award graphic, but just like doing the numbers here, like basically K-State would probably win here 32-25 if a computer was doing the estimates on that. That'd be K-State by a touchdown, which is essentially what the line opened at. I believe it's actually now at like 9.5 or 10 for K-State. And I think K-State's going to cover that, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But I like K-State's chances here, especially against a third-string quarterback. If Bean plays, like I said, I don't think he's going to be 100%. We're talking about our defense versus their offense. They're going to try to run the ball a lot. They're going to run some wildcat with their running backs. I do feel like they're probably going to score 1 or 2 touchdowns early, but K-State's going to make some adjustments. They got some good receivers, man. I do feel like they have some good receivers, but you know what? We got some good corners as well. They're going to test.
We've been playing against good receiver. When we played against Texas, dude, we were playing against good receivers, and we made them pretty. I mean, we held them pretty good. Like they couldn't do anything in the second half. They could not do anything. Yeah, so I think, dude. The only thing that kind of points out to me is that they've only allowed 13 sacks. Is that mainly because Daniels and Beam are good scramblers and they're able to get away?
I think that's part of it. Yeah, I do think that's part of it. They do have a good O-line, man. Like they're what is the rush offense? 17th in the country. They got a good running back, Devin Neal. Highshaw is a good running back as well. They got a decent O-line. Ours is better, I feel like.
Well, it is just
overall, like I do
just stats wise, it's better.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they had a quarterback who wasn't a scrambler, they'd probably give it up 20 sacks, probably at least one more per game.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I like our chances against a third string QB. If Bean plays, we'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to be 100%. I do think they're going to score a little bit early, but I still like our chances. Stop the run, make them one-dimensional. You got to do that every single week. If you can make them a passing offense, that means every time there's an incompletion, that's a win. That is basically a 0-yard play, which is what you want on defense, right? So I think it's going to be good for K-State. Third down offense, third down defense. K-State's top 15 in the country in both categories.
Yeah,
I like it. KU's red zone defense, 130th in the country, 130th. I expect a ton of touchdowns when K-State gets into the red zone. I think that's going to be probably a big difference in the game. K-State's going to get touchdowns. KU's going to have to settle for field goals. They did it last week against Texas Tech. We'll get into our predictions here soon, but this is a good matchup for K-State on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Yep. I'm excited, man. This is going to be a good one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's get into our score predictions for this weekend. Kenny, I'm going to let you go first.
I think we're going to be sticking with our 40-plus points that we get. I don't think we're getting over 50. I don't think you're going to get that in an away game. Although it would be sweet, I think it's going to be more like low 40s. So I'm thinking maybe 41 or 42. And I think we actually I think the Kansas Jayhawks might get 21 if they're starting Jason Beam, but if they're not, they're only going to get 14. So it depends on who they play as quarterback. If they're doing their backup, I think they're only going to get 2 touchdowns. I don't think he's experienced enough to get more than that. And I think we're going to get 40 plus. So 41, 42.
Okay, so K-State is undefeated this season when they score 38 points or more.
And we're averaging 38 points per game.
Yes, and we're averaging 38.8 points per game. So K-State's going to score 38 in this game. I got KU scoring 24 points if Bean is the quarterback. If he is not the quarterback, I got them scoring 17. K-State winning 38-17, covering the spread. I don't know what the over-under is, but I like K-State's chances there, winning 38-24 if Bean's in there. And like I said, 38-17 if Ballard is in there. Our good friend Cody has sent me his score prediction.
Oh, okay.
He's got K-State winning 45-3.
That's too optimistic. No,
I agree. He said they're going to win on the road at a sellout crowd and then bury ISU the next week. Fingers crossed they get back to Arlington with the exact same record as last year and hopefully the exact same result. Back-to-back Big 12 champs. I would love it. I would love it. Let's get into our hot takes. Kenny, I'm going to let you go first. That way you don't have to come up with something on the spot because I feel like I always go first and then I take whatever you're going to say. Kenny, you go up first here with your K-State hot take for this week.
I think so my K-State hot take offensively, for the K-State hot take for this week, I believe that all of our touchdowns, I believe that I guess I didn't really think about it too much, but I think it's going to be more of I think Will Howard is going to get his season record-breaking touchdown this game. So he's going to get 4 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, that is, this game. And then the other ones are going to come by either DJ Giddens doing some running plays, possibly maybe some Trayshawn Ward. So, but it's going to be at least 4 coming from Will Howard. And then my defensive hot take of the week is Kobe Savage is finally going to get an interception this year.
He's got a couple.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, here he does have one. He had one against Texas Tech. He has 2. I think he's going to get 2 this week.
I love it.
Especially if we're going against if we're getting going against a new quarterback, there's going to be some interceptions, at least 2 interceptions. Maybe it might not come from Kobe Savage, but at least 2 interceptions if the new guy's playing.
I like it. All right, here's what I'm going to say. My hot takes for this week. I got Will Howard having 2 passing touchdowns. He'll be too short going into the final game of the season. Now, bowl games count as well. Big 12 championship would count as well. He's going to get 2 this week. DJ Giddens is going to get 2 this week, running the ball. And our guy, Avery Johnson, he's going to come in the game sometime second, third quarter. He's going to get a long touchdown run to get that 5th touchdown for K-State. K-State's going to lead going into halftime throughout the game. And then defensively, I'm going to call it every week, man. K-State's going to get a non-offensive touchdown, hopefully defensively, but I would take one on special teams as well.
Is it a hot take if it's just called every week? You know,
well, here's what
it's
I'm
like
saying.
The guy that always plays black on roulette.
Right,
you know?
right. So I know that KU is going to really try to get a special teams touchdown for Sean Snyder as a special teams guy. I don't think that's going to happen. K-State's going to do very well on special teams this week. Hopefully they don't give up any big yardage or any touchdowns. So we'll see what happens. But that's a K-State hot takes for K-State at KU this week. Okay, we need to get into our look around at Big 12. I need to pull up the scoreboard. I think there's some pretty decent games this weekend, man. I really do. We're going to pick them all, and then we're going to get out of here. Obviously, we talked about K-State, KU. I got it pulled up here. Got to silence all these ads on ESPN. There we go. Here we go. Okay, let's take a look around the Big 12 this weekend. All right, first up, K-State at KU. We talked about that. I got K-State winning 38-24, covering the spread and covering the over-under.
This is the Big 12? Or is this just rivalry week? I'm confused.
I
was like,
I pulled up the wrong one, man.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay. I got K-State winning 38-24, covering the spread and the over-under. You had K-State winning
41-14.
41.
Yeah, 41-14, and 41-21 if it's Bean playing.
So Bean plays, hit the over. If he doesn't play, hit the under.
There you go.
Oklahoma at BYU. Is this a trap game, man? Is this like a sneaky good game, or is just BYU terrible?
BYU's terrible, dude. Look at the games that they've lost. They have lost such
big last week.
Huge, man. They lose so huge in so many ways. It's just
34-21 K-State. Jay Nixon says. I like that.
All right, we got wow, he's got K-State not hitting the 38. Right,
which would be the first time all season that they win without scoring 38. So we'll see what happens.
At least 38, yeah.
Okay, OU favored by 24.5, over under 57.5. I'll go first here. I think Oklahoma covers at 24.5. I don't think BYU is very good at all. They did. I had them picked to beat Iowa State last week, and they lost by 30. So
I will be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked if BYU scores more than 14 points this game.
Yeah, I would be too. I'd be too. I'm going to pick Oklahoma to win 55-14, covering the over-under and the spread.
That's it. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
That's you agree with that score?
Yep. I was going to say mid-50s and 14, so that's solid.
Okay. West Virginia hosting Cincinnati. Cincinnati's god-awful.
Yep. We got the Kelsey brothers team here.
Right.
They have absolutely fallen so far.
The Mountaineers are only favored by a touchdown. That is crazy to me. That is weird.
Cincinnati did win. Give them credit. They did win last week.
Sure. Well, that's going to be their only win this year. I think West Virginia is going to cover that spread. I got them winning, I don't know, like 38-10. 38-10, covering the line, but not the over-under. What about you?
38-10. West Virginia.
I like it, Dave.
I think West Virginia might get 40 here.
Really?
Yeah, I think they might get 40. So we'll go 40, and I still think 10. Because
40-10. Okay.
Yeah.
I dig it. Baylor at TCU.
TCU wins.
TCU's favored by 13. Man, TCU's going to win, but I don't think they're going to cover. I think both of these teams are not great. I'm going to have TCU winning.
TCU almost beat Texas Longhorns. They were a field goal away.
I don't know, man. I got them winning like 34-28, hitting the over-under, but not the line on the game.
I know. I actually think, finally, for the first time, I think that Vegas is pretty solid on this right here.
Okay.
I think that's what you go for.
So what's your score then?
What would that be? 58? Is that the 58 over under?
So that'd be like 38 to
like 15, 16. I don't know.
I don't know. Just pick a score. We'll just put it out there.
21. Yeah. TCU wins like 38-21.
Okay. I like it. Here we go. Oklahoma State coming off a big loss last weekend at Houston. Another trap game, man. I'm picking Houston to win. Money line on Houston.
It's at Houston, but they did lose to Cincinnati.
Well, I still think Houston's going to win just because they got good receivers. Oklahoma State struggles against receivers, especially on the road, with a lot of speed. I got Houston winning. Nail biter. 34-31.
Oh, that's crazy. I think it might be a nail biter, but I think it might be lower. I think it might be like 24-21.
24-21. I dig it. Who you got winning?
I'll say Houston. Houston for the memes.
All right. I dig it. Texas Tech versus UCF this weekend in Texas. The Red Raiders are favored by 3.
I kind of want UCF to win this.
I think Texas Tech is better. I do.
I think they're better, but I think they're better, but I want UCF to win.
Yes. Do the deed, Houston. I agree.
Do the deed.
I'm going to pick Texas Tech to win. Let's go 27.
They beat a KU team that was on their 3rd string quarterback only by 3 points.
On the road, but yes, I agree. They got their quarterback back, first game back. Running back is still pretty good.
And UCF just dumpstered Oklahoma State.
Yeah, so usually what happens after you have like a big high, you
get a hangover.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened to Oklahoma State, right? They beat OU.
Oh yeah, Bedlam that was their Super Bowl for sure.
Absolutely.
Because there was a lot going into that though. It was the rival.
Sure.
It was their last rival game.
Yep.
Because we don't know when the next time OSU and OU are going to play each other after this year. So it was like don't let the door hit you on the way out kind of message, right. Which it felt good. I mean, I'm happy for them. But I still think UCF, with John Rice Plumlee being the quarterback coming in, I think that they're just a different team, dude. They almost beat OU. I mean, dude, it seems like against the Oklahoma teams, at least, they are insanely good.
They are.
And so I'm gonna say UCF. What's the over? 60. Okay, that seems pretty close. I'm gonna say I'm going the under only because I don't think Texas Tech is gonna be putting up that many points. So I think it's gonna be like 30, 35 to like 14.
Okay. I dig it. And then another big game this weekend, Texas at Iowa State. Iowa State is also tied for second in the Big 12. I didn't mention them earlier, man. They're 5-2. Texas favored by 7.5. Over-under is pretty low at 47.5. Texas has given up pretty big leads in games at Houston, at TCU versus K-State. They've won some games they probably should have lost, and I think it's going to come all the karma is going to come to Texas this weekend. I got Iowa State winning a close game. We'll go 30-28. Iowa State wins, heading to over. Money line on Iowa State. And the good thing is that Iowa State's going to have the high after beating Texas. And then next week, they're going to get thumped by K-State. So I got Iowa State winning this weekend at home against Texas, heading the over.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. They're at Iowa State. Texas actually has a really hard last 2 games. They play Iowa State and then they play Texas Tech, and both of those teams want to beat Texas like really badly. But it just seems like, dude, for whatever reason, the college football gods had just been putting their blessing on Texas these last couple weeks. I mean, they barely lost to us. They barely lost to Houston, and they barely won against Houston. They barely won against us, and they barely won against TCU. Like they have squeaked by 3 weeks of college football that could have gone the other way. And, one was a horrible ball placement against the Houston game. There was like 14 things that could have gone the other way with K-State. And then with TCU, like they just almost got them in the fourth quarter. They just,
if there was a better 2-point play call on one of those touchdowns for TCU, or if that third down bomb that Texas threw late in the game isn't completed, like those 2 things, I mean, TCU probably comes back down and scores and ties the game. And goes
so I think for whatever reason, Texas just has this clutch factor this year. So I think it's going to be what a low over under. It's definitely going to be more than that. I think it's going to be 30s. I think it's going to be so definitely an over, but I think it's going to be like 33 to like 28.
So they got basically Texas winning 28-20, essentially. That's what they're picking.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I feel like the K-State KU game is probably the best one. Force an ad plays right when I talk.
Yeah, of course. I think that you're right about that, but I also think like the UCF Texas Tech game is going to be a really good game. And the Baylor TCU game will be a good game. The other ones, like, Oklahoma State is a pretty big favorite and Texas is a pretty big favorite over Iowa, but those could be trap games. I mean, you never know with this league. There have been crazy things have happened, but I think Houston, I think after losing to us, was it Houston played Cincinnati right after they played us, right? Oh no, they played Baylor and they won. Interesting. Yeah.
And then they lost at home to Cincinnati. So
yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I think we'll probably see Houston maybe lose to Oklahoma State. It might be the other one.
I hope they don't, though. I hope they win, especially for K-State's sake. But that's our Big 12 picks this week. So.
Yep.
Well, this was a good pod. Again, we'll be putting it out in like little segments on the YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Hopefully, K-State gets a big win this weekend. Hopefully, the Big 12 does not change its mind on the tiebreakers, because any sort of 3+ team like tiebreaker, K-State is going to get into Arlington. That's just the way it is right now in terms of like who would win those tiebreakers. Now, if they decide to change their mind, which it sounds like they are, K-State would not get in with the new tiebreakers.
How does it work if K-State and OU have the same record?
So OU would get in because they would have the higher ranked win, having beaten Texas, and K-State did not.
Okay, yeah, the common opponent.
So that's why it needs to be 3 teams or more. 3 teams or 4 teams, K-State gets in all of those. So,
yeah. I think then that means that you want
as much chaos as possible. Honestly, you want
then you want OSU to win. You want them to beat Houston. You want all the Oklahoma teams to win.
That's only if they don't change their mind. They'll win the tiebreakers, and we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, this was the Purple Pod. We had a great time. We're gonna be talking about K-State basketball soon. We keep talking about it. We haven't done it yet. K-State got a big win last night against South Dakota State, 91 to, I believe, 68.
Yeah.
23-point win. It's pretty nice. All the freshmen did well. We'll do another pod just on K-State basketball pretty soon. We've just been busy. Maybe we'll do it next week when we're off for Thanksgiving break. But I'm Steve.
I'm Ken.
And this is the Purple Pod. We'll see you guys next time.
Daily Purple.